All right, welcome back to Eyes Open Media. Okay, so I did a video on the main channel. I think the title was One Day Left Till the Historic Vote. Okay, on the referendums, as you guys already know. So, and then our body had some things to say today about the referendums and about his country and about the unity. And Berzani also had things to say about the country and about the referendums and stuff that are going to be taking place tomorrow. And I believe there's a lot of people from the international community that have flown into the Kurdistan region to witness this historic moment tomorrow as they vote for the independence of the Kurdistan region. Now, when will Kurdistan be independent? It could take them 2 to 3 years before they even go independent. I mean, it's going to be a lot of hard work. It's basically almost nearly impossible to pull this off. So we shall see. Because, and the reason why we say that is because all the threats that are around them, countries could easily invade the Kurdistan region and make basically impossible for them to go independent from Iraq. Okay, especially a country like Turkey, which has a strong military. The Peshmerga forces can't fight off the whole country of Turkey, right? So, so Turkey could do that, and Maliki, Abadi, and everybody could just sit there and watch and say, "I told you." So we shall see. Okay, so let's get into the articles because this video is going to be the articles, and then we're going to also finish up where we left off on the main channel video on from Facebook. Okay, reading your guys' comments and postings. Okay, so it says law. Maliki will take the post of the president of the republic to replace infallible. Now, infallible isn't going anywhere. Now, of course, this is all alleged by the referendum. So, if there is a vote on the referendum, they believe that infallible, the prime minister, not the prime minister, but the president of Iraq, Food Masoon, will actually go and be some type of head of the independent Kurdistan region. Okay, that's what they think. So, it could happen. I mean, he could be. Uh, that could happen. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. Okay, but them saying that Maliki is going to become the president of Iraq. Abadi doesn't even publicly like you. Like, I don't know what goes on privately, but publicly, you guys don't even get along publicly. Okay, so, and over Solder's dead body as well. You know what I mean? Like, Solder is not going to put up with that, and so wouldn't the international community. Maliki at the president position? How? Why? When? Who? What? The fact that he's a vice president is even though they don't do anything as a vice president is bad enough. Um, let's see here. And Maliki really just wants to keep his immunity. That's really is all this is about. Iran closes its border with the Kurdistan at the request of Baghdad. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, because we've had a lot of things that are not true lately. So I don't know if this is true or not. Now, Iran could have closed it and then blamed it on Baghdad, saying Baghdad told us to close the borders with the Kurdistan region. Okay, so I don't know if this is true or not. But Barzani did come out and say that he hopes that Iran does not close their borders with the Kurdistan region because it wouldn't be good for them or Kurds. Okay, making money. So you're gonna stop the flow of money if you do that. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes, and we'll see what happens for tomorrow. Um, Today's basically the day before the storm. Abadi says we reject the racist state, and we will have steps to preserve the unity of the country. Okay. Tillerson assures Abadi by telephone that America refused to vote and support Iraq's unity. Okay, so let's come up here and see what else articles we have. Food Masoon calls on Erbil and Baghdad to avoid escalation at any price and to return to dialogue and agreement as top priority. Now, of course, you know, returning to dialogue has been the problem, right? Because ever since Maliki backtracked it on the Erbil agreement, their dialogue with Iraq and Erbil had just been non-existent, right? You cannot trust you can't trust they can't trust snakes that tell them and tell the world that they're gonna do one thing, and then all of a sudden Maliki turns it back on the world and the Kurds, and does another, and then locks everybody up. From going in from Iraq, from allowing Iraq to go back to international routes, and then the whole country suffers, and Obama just sits there scratching his nose like nothing is wrong with Iraq until the international community says you have to do something, sir. And he said, oh, the people are dying and suffering. Oh, okay, yeah, well, okay, let's return. Let's bring the troops back into Iraq. Okay, yeah. But remember, before that, Obama was denying that he was going to send troops back into Iraq, and we told you he was lying. And of course, all the Obama people, said, "No, he's not lying. We'll never go back to Iraq." I said, "Oh my gosh! Before you talk, you might want to pray before you talk to see what God says first." And I think that's a problem with a lot of people. A lot of people don't pray before they talk. So when they say things, it's not even according to God's plans. And so when Obama was lying about sending troops back, there was already troops in Iraq. Okay, they were just using different names and codes. This is why coding is so important and decoding is so important, because when Obama was saying that there wasn't no troops in Iraq, they were calling them different names, and we told you guys that. Then we even said that Obama is going to actually say how he was lying, and that yes, they are troops in Iraq, and that's exactly what he did. And guess what? A lot of those people, they unfollowed me, they unsubscribed, they unfollow, because guess what? It sucks when you're wrong, right? It's better just to unfollow and unsubscribe instead of admitting you were wrong. But somebody like me, I admit when I'm wrong all the time. I don't got no problem with it. Back in the day, I had a problem with it though, because I was in the world. I was in the world and I was sinning a lot and doing. I had a problem with admitting I was wrong, saying I'm sorry and stuff like that. Now I can do it without no ease because I want to be holy. I want to be, I want to live holy. I want to be holy. So I can admit when I'm wrong all the time. I don't have no problem with it. I don't care. Okay, let's get back on track. The National Security Council meets with a body and issues the important decisions on the referendum. Look, these guys are Iraqis. They're not Kurdistan people. So what important decisions can these people really make on a region that wants to go independent? That's like Germany getting together to make decisions on London, right, going independent, or the UK going independent, right? brick, the brick X or whatever it was, right? It's like, who are you? Like, you're not even in the region, you know. Like, I would understand if there was like a body was in Kurdistan region holding important meetings, but he's not. He didn't even a body didn't even meet with the Kurdish delegation. But yet he still didn't go to Iraq. He didn't go to New York either. So you didn't meet with the Kurdish delegation, and you didn't go to New York to speak. It's crazy, man. Because the reason why, because he wanted to see he wanted to be over the operations of Hawaji, Rawa, and Qaim to completely finish the liberation of the entire area of Iraq. But why did you choose to do that the week of the United Nations? You could have, Qaim, Rawa, and Hawaji could have been done 3 weeks ago publicly, because they're already done. But publicly, they could have been done 2-3 weeks ago. He waited till the United Nations, week of United Nations, to launch the attacks on Western Anbar. And you guys aren't seeing that. This guy is not this. I'm telling you guys, Abadi is not who you think he is. I went off on him a lot of times. Look at the timing of the things that this guy does. And somebody even did an article in Iraq that you guys looked over. I didn't even care about, but I did mention it one time because I realized people didn't care about it. But the guy said Abadi is blaming the Peshmerga forces on purpose, and he's delaying. He's blaming them so he can delay Hawaji and the rest of Western Anbar to complete the liberation. You know. But and then when Abadi heard about that, then all of a sudden it's time for him to go speak at the general election. Oh, now he wants to launch the attacks on Hawaii, Rawa, and Kwayim. What happened? I mean, why couldn't he do that 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago? Telefar's been done for how long now? He was supposed to go right from Telefar right into Rawa, Hawaii, and Kwayim. He didn't. He waited what? It's been like 4 or 5 weeks. All up about your time to speak at the United Nations. Oh, let me no. I'm gonna launch. I'm gonna meet with the Kurds delegation, which he didn't do. That was a lie. And then I'm going to oversee the liberation of. Wait a minute, Abadi. You didn't tell us that though. All of a sudden, now you want to launch these. Okay, okay. You guys are not catching that. The guy is not. Look, the guy's corrupt. We know that, but he does have a heart a little bit for the citizens, and that's all we need. All we need is a grain of salt. Remember, all we need is like a grain of salt of faith, right? And things, and we can move mountains. So all a body needs is a grain of salt of love for the citizens, and we can see an international Iraq, and that's basically what he has. Maliki has no grain of salt for its citizens, so we wouldn't get anything underneath him, and we didn't get anything underneath him and Obama. Okay, so civil aviation authorities, the movement between Baghdad and Erbil continues, and there is no request to stop. Okay, so aviation is still going on. That's good. Barzani's policy delivers the United Nations a message in the referendum on independence. Let's see here. Now, speaking of Barzani, I know people are going to say, well, what if Maliki and them try to get rid of this guy? You know, that's not going to stop the referendum. That's actually going to speed up. That's actually going to hurt Iraq even more because then they will really want to go independent. That's why you can't do that. I know it's been in people's mind. Why don't they just get rid of Barzani? And well, first of all, if you get rid of Barzani, he's the president. The other Barzani is the prime minister. All of the Barzani family run the government of the Kurdistan region. So just because you get rid of the boss of the boss, the president, you still have the prime minister Barzani, and you still have all the other Barzanis that are in the government and the royal family. So you're not going to, just because you kill one of them, you can't kill them all. There's like 300 of them, okay? And they're growing every year. They probably make more babies and more babies so they can stay in power forever. Okay, so I'm pretty sure you guys were thinking about that, but that would backfire on Iraq big time, because then the citizens will definitely want to go independent and want nothing to do with Iraq. Okay, it says urging the first phase of the Hawaji operation ends at 1,200 kilometers. As you can see, we're almost done here. It said it's going to probably take 72 more hours, so we're coming up on that 70 60 hours to go, maybe left to go before we see this completely finished. And yeah, and then we'll see what happens from there, because maybe they launch. I know they're already doing things in Qaim and Rawa, because I did see an article about that. So actually, there was 2 articles about things going on in Qaim and Rawa, and how Daesh is just running and surrendering and running out of those areas. So we just haven't seen a massive news about it. But Western Anbar is almost done, and the body talked about that today as well. How the entire Iraq is almost completed. And he'll announce that soon. It's not going to be most likely won't be tomorrow, but it could be sometime within the next 7 days. He announces full liberation of this whole entire country. So that's pretty cool. International Monetary Fund, Interior Defense, and Education require 2 million jobs in Iraq. Acquire 2 million jobs in Iraq. Okay. Okay, so it looks like Now this is different because this is saying something different. If you guys go to the my main channel, you'll see that I was talking about this article, but it was worded differently. Okay, and it was basically saying that three ministers were had a had 2 million jobs or something like that, right? They had 2 million jobs underneath them. And so, but this says something different now. This article is different. So this one says that the public sector is the largest employer in Iraq with nearly 3.5 million jobs. We know that already about the 3.5 million jobs. This is equivalent to about 42% of all jobs. Okay. And it says here, let me go, where is it at? Says the Minister of Education, Defense, and Interior are the largest employers and employ about 2 million employees. See, that's different than what they said before. See, this is why these articles are, it's just hard to know what's really going on because every article has a different translation. Because before they were saying that three ministers own 2 million jobs and that, you know what I mean? And basically it was kind of like weird and like scamish of why three ministers hold 2 million jobs. Okay, now they're actually making it clear that they're not saying that those three ministers are being scamish. They're saying those three ministers actually have employers in the education, defense, and the interior side, and those are equal to about 2 million jobs. That's a big difference than what we read before, okay, on the other articles. So that's why we have to be careful with the articles, including myself, because as you can see here, that is clearly different than what we read earlier today on the main channel. So interesting. U.S. UNSC statement on the Kurdistan referendum, Pearly advisory, no standing foreign observer. Okay. And I think that is it. Let's go over here and finish up what you guys had to say on the 365. Now, Kevin, of course, Kevin was, angry here or a little bit angry here, which is fine. I mean, it is what it is, man. And I did try to make a joke out of it a little bit just to just crack jokes with everybody. Um, so, we went over that already. January 1, 2018. Well, that's where we're going to end if we don't see anything. We will be ending on that date. All Iraq news, all Iraq everything. Okay. Let's see here, and then of course we already showed that map. Daniel already did that. We did talk about that already. Yeah, you see how it says that IMF, three Iraqi ministers have 2 million jobs. And so the title and everything in that article was very misleading because it thought we all I was thinking and a lot of you guys were thinking that wait a minute they basically made up 2 million jobs for those three ministers and out of the 3.5 million jobs. But then the article we just read broke it down a lot better. Okay, and also here it says Barzani, without the Kurds, what the Iraqi constitution was approved. I'm not really sure what he. I guess he's saying without the Kurds, there would be no constitution of Iraq or something like that. I don't know. Urgent. He says Abadi Kurdish people taking over 900,000 barrels per day of Iraqi oil. Wow. Abadi there giving some briefings. Let's see here. Of course, Abadi talking about unity and effectiveness of the region. Public funds may not belong to persons and parties. Pay salaries and donations to block it, and leave the rest to the citizens. Okay. And then we have here. Let's see if we can get this one. Okay. And it says, what should be explained to our dear Kurdish people is that most of their territory problems are internal and not with Baghdad. Okay, yeah, we did talk about that on the other channel. The world didn't end. Richard said the world didn't end and nobody got raptured today. I can calm down now. Boy, I mean, if you're listening to that, Richard, uh, God help you, okay? Because you should not be listening to that type of stuff anyways. No one knows the time. Just like no one knows the time when Iraq's going to go international, no one definitely knows the time when the Lord will return, right? When Yeshua will return. So anybody saying any type of date and stuff of raptures and all types of stupid stuff like that, it's ridiculous. Their channels need to be. Everybody needs to unsubscribe. You know, like I mean, there's people that have been doing it for 3 straight years, saying the same thing over and over again on September 23rd, and they still have like 100,000 subscribers. So, you know, I don't get it, but I think people like misery. I think misery likes company, and people that are miserable like to be with other people that are miserable. People that are false like to be with other people that are false. People that don't bear fruit like to be around other people that don't bear fruit. People who sin like to be around other people who sin. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why these people can come on every year on September 23rd and say that the rapture is going to happen today and we're all going to be raptured today. And they know it's a lie, but they continue to pull that off, hoping that it does happen. And they go, "So I told you," you know. So it's crazy because as soon as somebody says something like that, we know they don't read the Bible because the word also says it very, 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 very crystal clear that no one knows the date, and not even Yeshua knows the date and time and when he's going to arrive. Only the Father. So knowing that, and knowing that that's been brainwashed in us since we were little kids, and then you make a YouTube channel and say to 2023rd is when everybody's going to get raptured. Every single year you've been wrong. These people have been wrong every year. They know no one knows the date and time, but they keep doing it just to entertain people. And people are subscribing to these people. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's not even. It's like I don't even know. I don't even blame them. I blame the people who are subscribed to them. Like, what are you even doing? But they don't know either. I don't know. Maybe they have some type of brainwashing going on where they're forcing them to subscribe through some type of voodoo or something. I don't know. It's weird, man. Anyways, let's finish this up. Let's wrap this up. Bitcoin is at 37. Let's see here. I don't know why my cursor doesn't feel like working now. There it goes. Bitcoin's at 3,700. Ethereum at 286. Let's see here. Let's see if there's anything interesting. Dash conference was today, of course. I put up part 1 on this channel. Part 2 is on the backup channel. Part 3 will be. The part 2 is on the main channel, and then part 3 will also be on the main channel in a little bit as well. Probably be out the same time this video is out. Ethereum Classics up a little bit there. Amiso Go, I'm going to grab some at 7 if I see it at 7. Right now it's sitting at 8. Coin is up. Got some coins that are green, some coins that are down here. Is more mixed bag down here than up top. Up top's more red. Down here is more mixed, mixed signals here. So Digibyte's now in green again. And I want to see what happens this week for Digibyte because we are going into that October 1st launch of their new website and stuff like that. And of course, all the rumors on City. Is City going to happen or not? We haven't heard many updates on City happening or not. But, it is what it is. Cloak is at 684, down a little bit. Okay, so, and then let me check out OK Cash. I know it's not in the top 100 any longer. It's gonna probably have to get back to it's probably gonna have to get back to about 50 cents to get back into that top 100. Okay, it's at 33 cents, down a little bit. Okay, so that's it for me. Like, subscribe, and share, and I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is the historic day of the Kurdistan referendum vote, and let's see what happens. It could either go 3 ways: bloodshed, smoothly with them voting yes or no, and then we getting the results either later tonight or tomorrow or sometime this week, Or three, it could turn into a celebration because a lock releases some type of internationalism or something like that. So, or some type of agreement is handed out at the last minute for oil and gas law, HCL oil and gas law, Article 140, international rate, purchasing power, and the launch of the private sector. So, basically internationalism. So that could be, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen, but let's find out. Because at the brink, they will release. Peace out, everybody. Eyes open. Bye.